Hey guys, just gonna do a quick update video today about, well, it's not really an update. Oh, I guess sort of it is. About my IUI that I had in April, because I wasn't doing YouTube videos then, and I just want to, just give you guys a recap of what had happened. So I decided probably in February. That was when I really kind of had a turning point of going forward with assisted fertility and not, and coming kind of off of the natural fertility path. Actually, I was riding in the car with my brother. My grandmother was really sick, and we were driving, going down to see her, and we were, having conversation. He's an awesome guy, and he knows me fully, and I just told him that I was really struggling with doing assisted fertility, and I just said that I felt like I was, I didn't want to force something to happen. And he very simply said to me, listen, if it's not meant to be, it's not going to happen like that either. You might as well just try. And I thought to myself, well, that was easy. Like, I wish you would have said that to me 2 years ago, but everything happens for a reason. It all happens at the right time, and I really believe that. So shortly after that day, my grandmother had passed away, and I was still thinking about what he had said, and I was, it was such a short period of time that passed. There was not even time for me to even really do anything. And when I was at my grandma's wake, actually, my cousin's kids were there, and they're little guys. They're like 3 and 4 years old, and they were, they didn't really get it, but they understood enough that they weren't going to really see my grandma anymore. We just kind of told them that she was going to sleep for a while, and, they were cute, and they were like, is she going to sleep until Christmas? Like, they just were trying to put a time stamp on it. And anyway, my heart hurt. I just thought, gosh, if I had gotten pregnant when I had started trying, or if I had took the initial steps earlier, like, maybe my kids would have been able to enjoy her as much as these little kids, my cousin's kids do. And from that point on, it was like I was on a mission. Like, this is definitely, I need to move forward. So right after that is when I called. So that was in the beginning of February. Middle to end of February was when my first appointment was. So we went, my husband and I went together. We did, because we had really done everything we needed to do. I guess what happens when you go to a fertility center, they make you do blood work and the histosalpingogram and semen analysis, and all of those things we had already done. So we were able to get right into it. So I had to obviously wait until I started my next period, which was just a couple of weeks later. And I started on 100 milligrams of Clomid, cycle days 3 to 7, I believe. Yeah, cycle day 3 to 7. And everything was like good. Everything was fine. The first night I took it, the third day was fine. The fourth day was fine. The fifth morning I woke up, and I went to take my dog out. And when I was in the kitchen, I realized that like my peripheral vision was like wavy. And I totally freaked out. I was like, oh my God, what is happening to me? Like, this is really not good. So, of course, I had a meltdown. I hysterically cried. I didn't even want to get dressed to go to work. Like, I just wanted to lay in bed all day. Obviously, now I know that this is like the hormones and everything everything was going. So I was a little bit overly emotional, but I was definitely still freaked out by that. And that continued on so that was, I woke up the third morning like that. The fourth morning I woke up like that. The fifth morning I woke up like that. it went until probably 2 or 3 days after my last pill, and then it went away. So I know that it had to do with the Clomid, even though when I called the doctor, Clomid, I always say Clomid and my husband makes fun of me. The nurse in my fertility center, I mentioned it to her when I went to have my blood work. She had no idea what I was talking about. I also went to the eye doctor just a few weeks ago. I mentioned it when I was there. She had never heard that before, so I'm like, am I crazy? I don't think so. But what I will say is I will never take Clomid again. That was way too intense for me. I'm like, what is this doing to me? It totally freaked me out, and I'm not interested. So I finished taking it then because I just thought, I'm already in this. I only have a couple of days left. Let me just get through it. And I figured once I stopped taking it, I would be okay. So that's exactly what I did. And everything was fine. I was going for my regular blood work that I had to, the ultrasounds that I had to go to. I was going almost every other morning. Starting at cycle day 11, they had me bring my trigger shot with me to every single appointment, hoping that at some point they would be giving me the trigger shot. Not so much. So cycle day 11, they sent me home with my trigger shot. I went back again on cycle day 13, and they sent me home again. I went on cycle day, then they told me to come back again on cycle day 14. So from cycle day 13, I was going every day, every single morning, and I had to be down there. I would leave my house at 5:30 in the morning to get down there before the doors even opened. The women are I actually almost got into a fight with one lady one of the mornings that I was there. Whatever, you have to take a number, and she was walking around on her cell phone. She didn't take a number. I have no idea who she is. She's not inside the building. And she was like, I was here before you. I'm like, no you weren't. I don't even know who you are. You need to get in line if this is what you're here for, just like everybody else. Anyway, so cycle day 14 I went back, and cycle day 15 is when they told me that my eggs were not growing anymore. They hadn't grown since cycle day 13. I guess because I don't know if it's every day or every other day that they are supposed to see progression. So whatever it was, it happened to be they referenced from 15 to 13. So they had me go back again on cycle day 16. Still the same. I believe my eggs were one egg. So I had 4 mature follicles, which I guess was what they considered mature, but not quite big enough. So I had one that was 18 that I think they were hoping to get to 20, but it never got there. And then I had 2 at 16 and 1 at 15. So, she said to me, more than likely all of these are going to release. They prepped me for for the chance that there could be a situation where there were multiples. So I was like, sweet deal. If I could get 2, that would be awesome. I'll be happy with 1, but I was so hopeful. Cycle day 17, I went back, and she just said to me that there was no progression, and that they needed to check my blood work because they were fearful at this point on cycle day 17, which is around the time that I start ovulating. She was afraid that my body was going to start ovulating on its own, and they didn't want that to happen because then they can't control it. So they called me when I was at work, and she just told me to trigger that night, and that that they were hoping for the best, but that there was no progression there. So I triggered that night. I took 2 shots. I don't know what the numbers are for them, but it was just the HCG shots. And then that was it. I went in. That was on a Friday night, and I had my IUI on Sunday. My husband's sample was post-wash 68.7 million sperm, which was awesome, but we didn't get pregnant. So I definitely, they called me after I had my blood test done, and they just said, you didn't, it's whatever they say, that the numbers are not, it was at 0. So, they told me that I could move on to IUI with injectables, or I could just move straight to IVF. And I was like, no, I'm done. I knew this wasn't for me. I'm not doing this, especially with all the Clomid stuff that happened. I'm like, forget it. I started going to acupuncture instead. So acupuncture has been wonderful for me. I love every minute of it. I love my acupuncturist. She's so great. My cycles have significantly improved. I went from a 35-day cycle to a 31-day cycle. I have no more headaches. I have no more night sweats. I have no more headaches, night sweats. What was the other thing that I used to have? Oh, my mood swings are like way down. So that's huge. So I know that it's helping me. And I've been doing that since the week after I had the negative test. So that's been since April. So, and every month she's like, oh, she has like a whole protocol of things I need to do. I have, I take these Chinese herbs that are really great. But I know that going forward, if I go back to either doing an IUI or IVF, I will not be able to take the herbs anymore. She explained that the doctors don't usually like for them to be taken together. So, and that's okay. I'm still going to go to acupuncture through the whole thing. So, I don't know. I guess we'll see then how that goes. I am considering, so at the fertility center that I go to, they don't start any IVF cycles on December 1st, April 1st, or August 1st. They say that they have to make sure that all of their equipment is functioning properly. I used to think it was because those are around holiday and vacation times, but I really have no idea why the real reason is. But so I'm getting really close to that December 1st. So I don't know that they're going to let me start. I don't know what the protocol will be. I don't know if they're going to make me take birth control pills for a month, which I really hope they don't, but they might. They may not. He might say, let us know on the first day of your period, and, we'll get you started from there. I really don't know. I haven't had the consultation yet. That'll be on Monday. So if I can't get in before December 1st, because I'm due to get my period mid-November. So I definitely still have time for them to do whatever it is that I need to do before that gets started. But if I have to take a month of birth control pills, that's not gonna, I'll miss the December 1st. And then I won't be able to start until after the first of the year. But I will do a round of IUI with injectables if I can't get started with the IVF right away. I'm just ready to get started. It's once you make a decision, I just want to get going. So that's my story, my IUI story. And I'll be catching up with you guys again after my appointment on Monday. All right, have a good one. Bye.